We're nearly halfway through. Well, actually, we are halfway through week 6, and welcome, Mindy. Please tell me a little bit about yourself and your businesses.
Absolutely. I run the book Midwife, which is a book coaching company, and we're here to help people who are at risk of never writing their book, taking too long, or ending up with something they're not sure about. And that's most people. Most people will never even start a book, much less finish it. So we've been helping people for 14 years. We've had 1,000 people through our programs. And the thing is, people will get their books done. And that's what we do every day.
I think that's really what happens, isn't it? I mean, we all have these brilliant ideas, and I'm sure we've all kind of been there. But it's kind of like, you know, setting that path and actually having kind of like that nous to actually get things going. And it's brilliant that that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
So take me through kind of what you're going to be, the process really, about what's going to be happening with Carla and Shelley.
Okay, well, the key thing that we've found over the years, Liz, is that people don't do enough planning. And so they start, they're all excited, and then at some point, 17 pages in or 5 months in, they run out of steam, or they just can't do any more, and then they start doubting themselves, and then it gets shelved. Not in a good way, like the shelf, I mean in a drawer. We're there to stop that. So we have a very rigorous planning and coaching process to make sure that people get on track and stay on track, and I'm there all the way along. I mean, the brand is called the book Midwife. So the midwife, it's a metaphor.
Yeah.
No, sometimes people say, "Oh, are you a midwife?" And I say, "Wait, it's a metaphor. It's like an image, But that book that everyone has inside them, most of the time they need help bringing it out, and so that's what I'll be doing with them. But making sure that it's the best book. That's what's important to us, because we see a lot of books out there nowadays that are not as good as they could have been, or they end up the wrong length, or the wrong style, so much can go wrong. Yeah. So it's really aiming to get the best possible book done in the shortest possible time.
Okay, brilliant. I mean, I've spent a lot of time with Carla and Shelley, and what they've been through is actually quite traumatic. I mean, on 2 different levels. And I just feel that they've got 2 topics that they'd love to kind of talk about, which would be quite interesting for you to have a look at. But for me, it's almost like I can see them telling their story and actually helping people. There's so many people that are probably in a similar kind of situation to them. And for me, it's kind of like, that's what books for. They kind of like, they almost help you either become something else or do something.
Yeah. Well, that's my favorite kind of book to work on, is a book that inspires people. So absolutely, the other company I run, the publishing company, our strapline is Books That Change Lives.
Yeah.
And it changes the life of the author, of course, but also the readers, if you get it right. So I'm really looking forward to working with them and helping them create the best possible book in the shortest possible time that has the maximum impact and helps the largest number of people out there.
Which is great, because that leads me on to the fact that, the initiative that we're doing is about kind of like changing and helping.
Yeah.
What do you think of this initiative and the community coming together in St Albans to actually help these 2 people out?
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. And as I'm based in St Albans, I try to get very involved in the community. I know a lot of people here, and I've only been here 8 years, but I've kind of embedded myself and my businesses here. We were sponsors of the Literary Festival, the very first one, and I've worked with a lot of local clients, and I employ local people, and so giving back, fantastic. I was very excited to hear about the initiative, and looking forward to adding some value here.
Brilliant. We're really looking forward to catching up with you.
Great.
And also catch up with the ladies as well to see what kind of transforms really. Thank you very much, and we'll speak to you soon. We're at the end of week 6. Mindy, how's it gone?
It's gone really well. They've worked so hard. They have so much information, so much passion, important messages. Obviously, there's stories, and it's a question of kind of planning it all out. What should be included in the book? What should be left out? And we really want to make it sing. We want to make sure that it's the best book it can be. So, we're just making decisions. So we've outlined the whole thing, and I've left it to them to finish outlining the chapters, and then we're going to have a complete plan and outline ready for them to write it fast.
Oh, this is amazing. We really can't wait to see kind of what happens, really. And it is quite fast, isn't it? So we're catching up with them again, I think, next week.
Yeah, next week we'll be here looking at the finished plan, all being well, and then they're going to write the first draft in 4 or 5 weeks. Done.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And if you want to know more about Mindy and what she does, then please contact the details below. And in the meantime, watch out for us next week, where we'll be catching up with Rachel from House of Colour.